Yeah, hi everybody. It's Rob here. Episode 2 of this trip planning that I'm planning to do all the way down to Turkey and back. I got recommended this travel software called Calimoto. You can see it at the top there, calimoto.com. I'm not getting paid for this or anything, so this is just purely a bit of software that I found, which I've just got to say is absolute doddle to work with, and you can find some really good routes. So I've spent a couple of hours sort of playing around with it, getting used to it, and doing some waypoints, etc., to see what I'm going to do for various different trips. But you can see as you plan a trip, I'll go into a bit more detail in a second. But as you plan this trip, this is the first leg inside Turkey that I'm going to do from Bulgaria up here. You can see that the whole thing is there, just under 3,000 kilometres on that route, like 43 and a half hours. If you were trying to do it all in one go, but it's impossible. This is going to take me, probably a week, maybe 2 weeks or something to do this, and spend my time doing it properly. So the idea is zooming into here. You can see I was originally in my first video, I was going to take this coastal road down here, but I've heard now that this road is better. There's still quite a few twisties in the whole thing for motorbikes. So I'm kind of going to give this a go. And see where we're at. But of course, like everything, it can always change. So we're going to leave Varna on this on this particular morning. I'm not sure yet because we're going to have to spend some time. And I'm going to go down, take my time running down through this and this beautiful national park here. I mean, look at some of these roads coming down through all of this mountainous, beautiful wooded area. I tried using the satellite imagery on this, but it's not very clear, to be honest. So that's one thing that maybe Calimoto could perhaps try and improve. But this is just show you. You've got different things that you can do. So you've got default terrain and satellite. So the satellite's not very good. I won't even bother going into there, but it's pretty good. It's built for bikers. So I'm very pleased with what I've seen of it so far. But yeah, so I'm going to come through, cross the border into Turkey. At this point, here's the border. And once I get into Turkey and cross all that border, it'll be sometime in the afternoon there, I will just ride along here. And what I'm going to do, instead of trying to book places to stay, I'm just going to wing it. And I'm going to just see where I end up when I get tired and just have a look for somewhere to stay. The wonderful thing about this app as well, which you can do, you can click on here, you can find bike hotels, fuel stops, more twisties, mountain passes, all sorts of things like that, biker meetups, and more importantly as well, which is what I want to do down here, is campsites. So if I click on campsites and zoom out, you can see coming into Turkey, there's not a lot down here. There's some down here, there's one here, which might have a look at. That one looks quite exciting. That one might be worth riding to and getting out there and going out to that one at the side there. But again, I'll make my mind up as I go, depending on how tired I am. And go from there. But you can see very good for bikes. You also, when you're actually in an area, you can actually click on rides, and you can up here you can click on rides and you can actually zoom in on an area, and if other bikers have gone around there and they've found a really good ride, it doesn't matter if you're in a car or sorry, a bike or a car, go and have a go. Why not? Sounds a great idea to me. But it's anybody that's ever had a go and they've uploaded this to Calimoto. What a brilliant community that is. So anyway, next day, somewhere from around here, not sure yet, going to ride down and get past Istanbul. And if you remember, I said I was going to take this top road to stay out of the main city. I don't really have any desire really to go into big cities. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm not a big city fan. And the traffic's going to be probably horrendous going through there. I much prefer to meet people that are more local, outside, and plus the fact it's generally a bit cheaper to stay out of town. So I don't know what this bit is here, all around here, but it's some kind of scenario. But I'm going to come out all the way up the top here, and I'm going to follow this coast road. Now again, I'm just going to ride until I get tired. I've spoken to a few people, and they say that this whole northern coastline here, running around here, you're following the Black Sea. You look out there, zoom right out. Following the Black Sea all the way around. I mean, it's going to take me a few days to get down here, but some of these areas, there's just some absolutely stunning roads that run through here, and this is something that I've spent a bit of time and researched and stuff like that, and apparently these are some of the greatest roads that we've got in this area. So and these are roads that other riders, you know, that have used Calimoto have actually recommended, and so the actual software itself recommends these roads. So you zoom into a certain place, stick that into Google for argument's sake, and find out all about the surrounding area, and it starts to make sense. And I have spent a few hours just researching this. So as I say, I'm not. This is not an endorsed video whatsoever at all. But I just got to say, it's really quite easy to use, especially for somebody that's as computer illiterate as I am. Anyway, we get to this point after a few days of running down this whole northern coastline of Turkey, which I'm really looking forward to, because the Black Sea is something I've always really wanted to go and see. Not going to go up as far as the Georgian border, but we are almost taking in the whole of Turkey at that point here. We're then riding the D877. Now this is a road and a half coming down here. Lots and lots and lots to see. Just stunning. The D915, but all this road all the way down is the D915 all down to Bayburt. And then from there, I think that's probably going to take a whole day to do down that section there. I'll stay somewhere around here. I mean, there's plenty. You roll up in here. There's plenty of little villages, you know, that you can just see there, and there might be, for argument's sake, let's have a little look and let's just see if there's any campsites that are dotted around here. And none. So that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, a couple up there. Well, that's okay. If we can't, and we can find a decent spot, we can wild camp. When we're running down to here, we've got to run right the way down. Again, this is probably going to take another day or so to get down to this point. Might be less. But this here is the Kamali Gorge. This is what is called the Dark Canyon. I'll post up some photographs, and we'll have a look as we run through, and then you can just have a look and see what we're actually seeing here. But all down this, I'm not sure if it's this side of the road, which it is, because if it is, I'll ride all the way down it to the end, and then I'll just ride back again, and then come back down into Kamali. From there, we're following the other side of the canyon, and this is the river Euphrates that runs down, or part of it, one of the spin-offs. Right the way down, you can see really, really good roads, really great little twisties, a lot of very mountainous. Right the way down here, and then we're going to ride down all the way to Nemrut Dagi. In Nemrut Dagi, I'll put up another photograph in a second for you, so you can see it. But this is this Nemrut Dagi here. So we're going to stay at Adiyaman. I'm sure I'm going to get used to some of these Turkish pronunciations as we move on, which is quite funny. But then up to Nemrut Dagi. I might stay here for a couple of days, get some editing done, that kind of thing, of this trip coming up through here. Looking at this coming up there, I want to climb this great big hill up here. I mean, the views from the top are absolutely stunning. Again, if you Google in Nemrut, Nemrut Dagi, Nemrut Dagi, it's you can see it's written here. Sorry, Nimrut. Check that out. So just north of Carter. Carter is just here. But this area here is a whole national park. I want to ride up to this. This is one of the oldest buildings, if you like. It's like a bit like Easter Island, if you can imagine. They've got all of these stone statues where somebody's taken their heads off and laid them at the feet of all of the statues. I don't know when that happened, but I'm going to go and find out about a lot of these things. And then around this amazing lake area here, all the way down to, I think it's pronounced Şanlıurfa. So I'm going to stay here for a few days, because out here is where all of the tepes are, and so I want to go and see Göbekli Tepe, and Göbekli Tepe is up just around here somewhere. And as I say, I'll stay here for a couple of days. We've got another one called Karahan Tepe as well, which is down here, which I'm not sure if is open to the public, but I'm going to try and speak to some local people, ask some archaeologists, that kind of thing, to see if I can have a chat and just find out about this. But again, I'll put up some other photographs of this area. So that's ride one of that section there. So I click back onto my rides. We're then going to ride right the way through to, boom, all the way down south here. But what I want to do is I want to ride all this way down here up to Cappadocia. Now, if anybody's heard of Cappadocia, it's in the area of Goreme, Goreme. This is one of the most wonderful places. It was a kind of volcanic kind of eruptions and a load of limestone, but they built loads of caves, and we're talking thousands and thousands of years ago. There's monasteries, churches, all sorts of things up there that have been built, and people were living in these. I think living in them not too long ago. But I want to go and see this area here, and they do balloon rides out over these. They're called like fairy chimney tops, I think they call them. But if you look again, check it out. Cappadocia, Kappadoucia, I think it is. That area, which is just stunning. So I really want to see that. To see what the balloon rides are going to cost, and probably go for a balloon ride across there and get some filming, and hopefully show you guys if you're still interested in seeing. So probably a couple of days there. Then I want to ride down, and then we're going to start kind of the main sort of wild camping and the main sort of camping down on the south coast, which is kind of what I really wanted to do. So I'm going to run all the way down to Antalya, and there's loads of campgrounds here. So if I pull up the tents here, you can see there's just absolutely loads here. So I'm going to have a look at, probably, we'll see. If I get down to Karaman at this point here, I might just run down this there, but this road here is a little bit from Mutt. It might be interesting. Don't know yet. We'll see. But I'll speak to some locals and see what the score is there. Might ride down there and then just follow this coast road all the way along, and then basically stop wherever you want. Which I can't wait for that. That's I'm going to just do as much wild camping and camping in different places there. So I then want to ride around to a little place called Olympos, which is just down. It's just down here. Kamluka. There's this section here. This area here it's a bit like, I don't know if anybody's been up into sort of like Byron Bay up in Australia. They're a little bit like that, in the sense that it's a bit of a kind of commune, a bit of a hippie commune type camping kind of place. You can camp on the beach. You can see there's a beach camping, all sorts of things that are going on here. I want to come down here and spend a couple of days, have a swim, hopefully, if the weather's warmed up by sort of the second, third week in May, something like that, second week in May, which hopefully take a bit of time out, and because that's I'm doing a lot of miles through all of this. Like, I mean, this second route is another 2,400 kilometres. Look, from there, let's just not confuse that. From there, I'm riding up to Marmaris, and there's a beautiful lake here that I want to go and see, which I might spend a day or two there, because there's some roads coming up through here. I mean, you can just see it's just stunning for a motorbike. These are stunning roads. So really looking forward to that. I'm hoping that I won't have a squared off tyre by the time I get back. It'll hopefully be completely rounded and worn all the way around the side of it, because I've been going around so many bends, but who knows, we shall see. We then head right, and we're going up to a place called Pamukkale, which is a load of travertine rocks. Again, I'll put a photograph up so you can have a look. But it's a load of travertine rocks. Very, very famous in Turkey. Does get a bit busy, so I will be doing a sunrise and a sunset video up there. And if it's warm enough, I will go and have a little sit in these beautiful mineral pools. Hopefully, fingers crossed, with no one around. But who knows? Again, it's I think mid-May starts to get towards about the tourist season, and we see where we go. And then from there, probably a day or two, riding up to Lapseki. And from here, I'm going to take the bridge at this point, going across to the next section. Next section is going to be riding through northern Greece. So if I go over to my rides, and we look there, so we're going over to Igoumenitsa. So we'll pull up this one and say this is such a good tool. Now, I've had a lot of people talk to me about this area down here, but I'll come to that in a second. So we're going to cross the border back into Greece at this point here. You can see the little border crossing going into here onto the E02, so from the D110 onto the EO2, back in Greece. I can then get rid of my eSIM card and get back onto my standard EU card that I've got for my phone, and probably do a bit more filming on that, depending on what data I use in here. I mean, I think I'm probably going to be, I think this trip around Turkey, it's got to take 2.5 weeks, isn't it? I'm sure it's got to. I mean, there's no real time limit, but it's got to take 2.5 weeks, I would think, to get around there and be able to spend some reasonable time without just getting on a bike and just riding through, which is what you don't really want to be doing. So I think probably 4 days or so riding through here. I've heard some very good reports about this town, Thessaloniki. I have a look at that. I'm not really into bigger towns, so whatever I do, that'll just be like a day trip, and I will stay outside in one of these villages outside. That's always going to be my preferred route. Now, this ride from here is all very mountainous through this section here until you get to this wonderful open area, which is something that I love this sort of thing, riding through here. Now, just look at these roads. The more you zoom in, the more you can see what is going on with these roads. That is going to be one crazy ride. And I'm going to try, I think what I'll probably do is try and I don't know, stay somewhere up here, something like that, and then just ride down to the other side of it in one day, so I can just take my time, get off the bike, take some photographs, and just enjoy that time running through there. That's proper when you're getting out from all of these built up places. That for me is kind of pure bike freedom and bike heaven. We then ride down to Igoumenitsa, which also looks pretty exciting route all the way down. So all B roads, if you like, if you want to look at a UK standard style of road, it's a B road. So very, very twisty, not very fast. Just enjoy second, third gear, fourth gear tops probably most of the way. I don't really want to do any of the big motorway stuff. I did enough motorway stuff trying to come down through all this way, and then coming down on that day that I'm going to go from Zagreb right the way over to Sibiu in Romania. I've got to run up to Budapest and then run down. I mean, that's a big day to do, probably, I don't know, 500 miles, something like that, maybe. And there's no big motorway, not very, very fast motorways running down through there, but I digress. So that's that route across northern Greece. If I close that down and I go to my rides, we now go from Brindisi. So we take the ferry from Igoumenitsa over here. It runs up past Corfu and across, I think it's the Ionian Sea, to Brindisi in Italy. And then from there, I want to do as many of the volcano trips as I can. As I say, I'm not going to come over to Sicily to see this, because I would lose another 4 days, I think, going across this section here. So I'm going to ride up and see Pompeii, at Naples, or around that area, but say I'll always be staying outside. I've then got that works well, didn't it? So it was up there, wasn't it? Let's see if it should change. Yeah. Okay, I'll readjust that later on. That takes me up to another volcano here, and this right the way through this whole area here. I was going to take a little trip out to Pisa and have a look, but again, it's the really, really tourist areas, and I'm doing it for motorbikes more than anything else. Run right up to the Stelvio Pass, spend a couple of days up there, and then back down to Milan. Hopefully see the guys at Alpha Boilers. We'll see how we go from there. And then from there, I will go back to my rides. and I'm going to come up through from Milan all the way up now, then through the Mont Blanc tunnel, and then all the way home through France. But again, I'm staying off of main roads. As you can see, normally I'd head up on these big main roads here, these toll roads, but I'm off the main road, so I'm going to take a few days, come up and see some of these beautiful French villages. But I've never ridden any of this stuff before, so this is all recommended. Right the way back up to Calais, and then away we go home. But as I say, I'll put up some photos, edit all the crap I've just put into this this video, and we'll see where we go from there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We will be I will be shooting off and doing a test of all my camping gear in the next, what are we, 12th of March at the moment. In the next 2 weeks, I'll be going and doing a camp, just waiting for the weather, because it's been absolutely awful in London at the moment, pouring with rain almost every single day for a couple of months by the feel of it, and I'm not going to go and do that. I'm a fair weather camper. So we'll wait for a couple of weeks. Hopefully the weather will break, and I'll go and do a test, and I'll do a video then of the bike ride down and setting up all the gear, show you some of the gear I got for wild camping, all the mattress I bought, the tent I bought. It's a much smaller tent for bikes, that kind of thing, and we'll go through it, and hopefully on the way back from that trip I'll do a review we'll have a chat and a review of some of the gear that I bought, and whether I'm actually missing anything, and whether some of the gear is rubbish and I need to replace it. But so I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, please subscribe up and hit the like button and the bell button, and hopefully you will then get a reminder as soon as another video comes up. Many thanks.
I can't leave, but I won't stay here. If I stay, I still won't be here. I'm the grass upon which she lives. April, spring,